Good evening and welcome to Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, reactions, and of course my opinion. If you're new here, please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we are about 150 subscribers away from 2,000. Unbelievable support. I really do appreciate it. Smash a like on the video as well. That support massively helps me. And look, there's lots of transfer stuff to get into today. Obviously, in terms of the football side of things, the title race is over, so now we focus on summer. We focus on the big summer ahead, I think, in terms of transfers. Shout out everyone watching on TikTok. My link to my YouTube is in my bio. If you want to head over, drop a subscription on the YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the YouTube chat as well. Chris, Terence, Noel, good to see you all. What do you think about the Chelsea game coming on Tuesday? I'm quite confident. Chelsea are abysmal. Chelsea are absolutely abysmal. So I'm quite confident ahead of Chelsea. That is the one. It's honestly, we're going to come second regardless, I think now. The game that we have to win out of the remaining ones is Chelsea, just for the pride. How close do you reckon we are to actually signing Rice? I don't know how close we are right this second, but I think it's probably priority number one come the summer. And that's what I want to talk about. Luke, good to see you as well in the chat. So, look, we're going to talk about signing Declan Rice. A good article today from Sam Dean in the Telegraph. Talk a little bit about Caicedo too. He fixtures into that. Talk a little bit about the idea of Mason Mount replacing Emil Smith-Rowe and potentially how that could help bring in Declan Rice. A little bit about Saliba's current contract situation coming from David Ornstein. And, of course, we have Guess the Gooner. I think the Newcastle game would be harder than Chelsea. Oh, Newcastle and Brighton are both far harder games than Chelsea. Absolutely. Alon and SAS does stuff. It's good to see you two as well. It is indeed a Friday. It is the Friday. We made it to the end of the week. It's a 3-day weekend. It's been a long week. It's been a long, battering week as an Arsenal fan, and I'm glad the week is over. But look, we've got a lot to get into. Are you going to the game on Tuesday? I am indeed. Tom Burton, good to see you as well. What's happened to your camera quality, or is it just me? The camera quality dips occasionally, depending on my internet. It's something I really need to sort out, my camera. So I do apologise for that. But look, getting into Declan Rice, this is coming from Sam Dean at the Telegraph. He said, Declan Rice is known to be a top target for Arsenal this summer. Arsenal wanted to sign Moises Caicedo in January, before then adding Rice in the summer. It's understood Caicedo, who wanted to move to the Emirates, remains on Arsenal's list of potential targets. He then went on to say Arsenal will step up their transfer planning ahead of the summer window after guaranteeing their place in next season's Champions League, with Declan Rice high on the list of targets as they look to recruit at least one top-class midfielder. So that's interesting both on Rice and Caicedo. The fact that we were in for Caicedo in January and that we really did plan on getting him in January and Declan Rice in the summer. Does that mean that we can go and get both of them in the summer? Obviously, having missed out on Caicedo in the January, could getting Caicedo in the January have won us the title? I know we ended up saying Jorginho wasn't a bad backup option, and he looked all right when he's played for us. But now you look at it, could that have been a title-changing transfer that we missed out on in the January? But I think that the part about Declan Rice is interesting, that Arsenal now are looking to speed up and ramp up their summer transfer window and their plans for the summer transfer window. Dominic says we need defensive depth badly. Yeah, we do. We do need defensive depth. Sam says, do you think we need Diaby for competition for Saka for UCL games? I don't necessarily think it has to be Diaby, but we do need someone that can challenge Bukayo Saka. Now, that is very, very difficult to find in the current market for a decent price, but it is something we need to do. The other reason I wanted to talk about this Declan Rice situation and this idea of Arsenal speeding up our transfer process ahead of the summer is because it came out last night and this morning from Fabrizio Romano that Brighton have basically signed or agreed to sign João Pedro from Watford. Now, lots of teams across Europe supposedly were interested in him. And Romano said Brighton wanted to be fast on João Pedro deal, as a lot of important clubs around Europe wanted him for next season. Timing has been crucial for the Seagulls. De Zerbi wanted João Pedro, and he's coming. And this is really important. Getting deals done at the start of the transfer window is such a big move that top clubs do, that well-run clubs do. Because if you can get it done at the start of the window, A, you're not going to pay as much money. B, you can get a jump on the competition. You know, if everyone at the start of the window has 5, 6, 7 transfer targets, they're trying to work on 5, 6, 7 deals. If you can get one done early by getting the jump on those rivals that are going for it, it's massive. So it's something we really need to do. Arthur says thoughts on signing Mitchell, Curry, and Nani to play alongside Rice. Not my cup of tea. I'll be honest. CGC says Bellingham could look at a move to Arsenal with Champions League. I think there have been a lot of rumours today that Jude Bellingham to Man City is basically done. Which, I mean, just adding Jude Bellingham to that team is meant a different profile of striker. Jamie says, I think Tuesday is the perfect game for us to bounce back, put in a good performance and win. And even if it means nothing in the title race, it will lighten the mood. I agree with you, Jamie. I do agree with you on that front. And Kieran says, if we don't win on Tuesday and beat Chelsea, it's definitely over for us. I think the title race is already over. I really do. But look, yeah, I think the important thing for me is that Rice or Caicedo, but I think more likely it looks like it's going to be Rice, is done within the first week or two of the transfer window. Get that done, get it sorted, move on to the next one. We were quite good at it last summer. We got quite a few of the deals done early in the summer, and it's beneficial. It really is beneficial. Apart from anything, you also, if you're bringing in a Declan Rice, who you would argue is going to go straight into the starting lineup, give him as much pre-season as you possibly can to bed in. You know, Arsenal has fine-tuned the system this year. So whoever comes in, you want to give them as much time to adapt to that system and get used to the system and understand the system as you possibly can. Look, we've got plenty of money to do it. You know, there was a report today that at an absolute minimum, Arsenal will gain £50 million from qualifying for the Champions League. Of course, having not qualified for Europe 2 years ago, we were on the back foot in terms of the money we were bringing in from Europe, but we've sorted that now, at least 50 million from that. Outgoings, at least 100 million. So there's no reason that we shouldn't go out straight away. And even if West Ham are asking for quite a lot, if you start going back and forth with them and saying, I don't know if we want to pay that much, you invite teams like Chelsea and Liverpool to get involved. So we should just go in. Does Declan want to move to Arsenal? Yes. Done. That would be my move for it. Who do you think we should sign for backup for Saliba? I think it depends how sort of higher level you want to go for, right? If you're talking top level, you're probably looking at Kim Min-jae from Napoli. But would he want to come in and be a second choice? Realistically, whoever comes in for Saliba is going to know that they're either an understudy or just a bench player. So you're either looking at someone young who is willing to bide their time with Saliba, or you're looking at someone who just quite simply knows that they're never going to be on Saliba's level, but is a high enough level to play when needed. So that at that level, you're probably looking at someone like Robin Lenormand from Real Sociedad. And then the others, so like Robin Lenormand's that sort of player. Then you've got like Nathan Wood at Swansea, who's 20, who would be in the other category. A player that's stylistically very similar to Saliba, quick, strong, but definitely has a lot to learn and could definitely be an understudy to Saliba. What about the young Benfica centre back Silva? I'll be honest, I've not seen a lot of him play. That's someone I'll need to look into. Partey definitely needs competition. He's getting too comfortable. Yeah, I think Partey does need competition. I mean, that's why I want Ricedo. I want Declan Ricedo to be the long-term midfield for us. Tierney has to play more. We're missing him on a lot of big games. Mikel needs to learn to change it up a bit more. I don't disagree, but I don't think we're going to see much of Tierney for the rest of the season, and I think we're going to see him go in the summer, unfortunately. How much do you think we should get for Balogun, Tierney, and Smith Rowe? I think all of them, you're probably looking around the 40 million mark. So between the three of them, you should certainly be looking at over 100 million if you get those three gone. I think we need Concedo. I just think Jorginho, I assume that meant Caicedo. Jorginho's too old. It wouldn't surprise me if we sold Jorginho. Adam Clips, hello. Do you think City's game was one of Smith Rowe's last games for us? I think it probably was. But look, talking about Moises Caicedo, this was again from Sam Dean. He said Arsenal's hope in January was that they would sign Moises Caicedo for the remainder of the season and then add Declan Rice in the summer. It was not a case of one or the other. Arsenal also showed interest in Everton's Amadou Onana in the January window. So that's the other thing, right? Is that if you don't get one of Caicedo or Rice, I think we have to get one of them at least. There are lots of other alternatives. Onana, wait, ESR leaving. I think there's a good chance Smith Rowe leaves. Yeah, I think there's a good chance Smith Rowe leaves. But look, yeah, Amadou Onana, Romeo Lavia, Zubamendi at Real Sociedad. You know, there are a lot of these sorts of midfield players that are going to be available. And look, you don't always have to go for the most expensive. I watched back the Brighton Nottingham Forest game from earlier in the week, and Danilo, who, if you remember last summer, we were really interested in Danilo from Palmeiras. He ended up going to Nottingham Forest in January for about 27 million. And he arguably looked better than Caicedo in that game. He certainly looked as good as Caicedo in that game. He looked excellent. And so that's, you know, it's taken him some time to bed in, but he looked very, very good. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be the 80, 100 million pound signing. But of course, by signing a player like Caicedo, you're taking less of a risk because you know he can do it in the Premier League already. Flashbang says, why not Palhinha from Fulham? For me, Palhinha is an excellent player, but I don't know if he has the technical ability to get into the Arsenal team. He's very, very good at breaking up the play, winning the ball back. I don't know if his range of passing and his IQ are good enough for the current Arsenal team. That would be the only concern over Palhinha. I've seen that AC Milan looked into Balogun, Leao and him swap deal. I don't think it would be a straight swap. I mean, look, he could be involved in a player plus cash deal. Do you think City will drop points? Not enough for us to get back into it, no. Not enough for us to get back into it. So yeah, talking about ESR, Smith Rowe as well. Telegraph Sport understands that Arsenal have held exploratory conversations regarding signing Chelsea's Mason Mount. Now, to me, bringing in Mount would absolutely be the end of Smith Rowe. Mason Mount effectively is the versatile attacker that Smith Rowe is. And this is a question, right? If Arsenal felt that bringing in Mason Mount made it easier for us to bring in Declan Rice because they're good friends, and I don't know how much I buy into the whole, you know, signing someone's friend makes it easier to sign them. But if it was, would you sacrifice losing Smith Rowe to help get Declan Rice and have Mason Mount? And I think I would. I genuinely think I would. People forget last season Mount put up good numbers. He did put up good numbers. Kieran says Kudus. Kudus at Ajax is an exceptionally good player. Whether or not, I haven't heard a huge amount about Arsenal looking at him. I think he will go to a big club this summer. If Arteta can get 2021 Mount out of him, then he could be an absolute revelation in our attacking system. That's what I'm thinking. And if Arsenal sign him, it's because Arteta does think that he can do something with him. So I wouldn't be against it. I really wouldn't be against it. Is there any possibility of João Felix? No. So the current situation with João Felix is that he wants to stay at Chelsea. Obviously, he just signed a new deal at Atletico Madrid. They're exploring doing another loan deal for a full season at Chelsea. But Atletico Madrid want like something crazy, like 25 million plus full wages covered for a season-long loan. Otherwise, you're looking at like 80 to 100 million. And actually, I look at Felix, and as good as he's looked at Chelsea, his output still hasn't been great. You know, the final pass, the final shot, it still isn't amazing. Why would anyone want to stay at Chelsea? I really like him. I don't know why anyone would want to stay at Chelsea. I do not have the answer. Why do I keep seeing Kante to Arsenal? I'm guessing that's fake. No, Jamie, there were some rumours earlier in the year about Kante leaving Chelsea but wanting to stay in London. And so naturally, people put two and two together, and the rumor mill started going that Kante could come to Arsenal. I don't think that's going to happen at all. That would be very surprising. I'm good, thank you, George. Good to see George Christodoulou in the chat. Saliba, William Saliba, contract update. We know, obviously, he's been in talks to sign a new contract. His current contract doesn't run out until 2025, so it's not as urgent. But we know we've been in contract talks with him. But according to David Ornstein, there is no new information about Saliba's contract situation. But he confirmed once again that the Saka deal has been agreed. It just hasn't been announced yet. So nothing new on William Saliba. So the last on Saliba was that he wants to stay. And they just need to iron out the details of the contract. But look, that news got people in a bit of a tiz on Twitter today about whether Saliba, might not want to sign a new contract. I'm absolutely certain that Saliba will want to sign a new contract. You're talking about a guy who was willing to genuinely risk his career by playing through this back injury in a title charge. He's been an Arsenal fan as a kid. That if he can sign a new contract for good money, I think he will. Is Saliba going to be is Saliba going to be injury prone? I hope not. He makes such a difference. Well, I don't think so. He's never, he only picked up one injury this season, and it was a back injury. So there's nothing to suggest that he should be any sort of injury problem going forwards. Why are Arsenal considering Balogun's sale when Jesus has proven he's not an elite 9? I think Jesus is getting a bit too much flack. He was absolutely outstanding for us before the World Cup. He came back from the World Cup and has scored goals. Yes, he's missed some good chances, but I just think we need a different profile of striker to go alongside Jesus in the squad, not in the same lineup, but alongside Jesus in the squad to give us a bit of an alternative off the bench. And Balogun, I don't really think keeping Balogun is going to be a decision that's ours. I almost think it's going to be a decision that's up to him. If he wants to be, almost guaranteed starting in a first team, he's probably not going to get that at Arsenal. That's just the truth. Just a reminder that Alex Lacazette has outscored Balogun in Ligue 1. That is a good reminder. Look, I think Balogun's having an exceptional season. I would love to see him stay at Arsenal, but as TikTok Lacazette just said, Lacazette has outscored him in Ligue 1 this season, and we saw the last two seasons of Lacazette at Arsenal. So scoring goals in Ligue 1 doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it in the Premier League. I still believe Watkins would be a good buy. I don't know. I think for me, Ivan Toney is a better option than Watkins in terms of the profile that I'd be looking for. I think Kolo Muani is perfect. Good playmaker and can finish. Yeah, but apparently Frankfurt want like 80+ million for Kolo Muani. Hopefully, we'll see Balogun play in pre-season, and we'll see. I expect he'll be on pre-season. Yeah, I would expect that. But look, I think ultimately for me, the signings that we have to be going for, at least one right back / right centre back. So it could be Timber I look at as an example of a player that can play both roles. If you've got both him and Ben White that can do both, and you've got Saliba as your natural right centre back, I think that's decent. I then think if we're getting rid of Kieran Tierney, which we all think we are, then you need an understudy to Zinchenko, or you have someone like an Ake or an Akanji who for Pep Guardiola has done the job at left back, but can also cover that centre back role. I almost think Kivior could be that player anyway, once he's given a bit more time. I then think we need at least two midfielders. For me, it would be Rice and Caicedo, but of course there are other options if you can't get both. Rice and Lavia, Rice and Onana are good options. And then I think we need at least one versatile attacker. So, that could be a Mason Mount. And then I think we need a big profile striker. So there is a lot of work to be done this summer. There are also a lot of players that we need to get rid of. There's, 10 to 15 senior players that we can probably get rid of this summer. So a busy summer lies ahead. But ultimately, a lot of that is going to be brought into a core that is very, very good and has a clear, identifiable playing system. Kudus would be brilliant too. Very versatile, top talent. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. Thoughts on our chances for Osserman? I don't see us getting anywhere near Osserman, truthfully. Ideal transfer for me: sell Kieran Tierney, Holding, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Balogun, buy Zinchenko replacement, a good centre back, Rice, Caicedo, Kolo/Osserman, and Mount. I agree with most of that. The only part I just don't think we can get Kolo Muani or Victor Osman. I don't see us spending that much on a striker this summer. Thoughts on Castagna? Can play both fullbacks and could probably be coached into a centre back role. Elite depth. I don't know. He's not blown my socks off at Leicester, to be fair. But look, we'll get back to some of those questions after we have done Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path without the Arsenal part in it. You have to guess who that player is. The first person to get it in the YouTube chat has the pride of the Rory Talks Football community, the Arsenal ball knowledge, for at least 24 hours. So it really is big stuff. If you're on TikTok, get into the YouTube chat through the link in my bio. Get subscribed to the channel as well. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, link in my bio. Please do head over. But look, let's get into it. So this is an ex or current Arsenal player without the Arsenal part of their career. You have to guess who it is. They started at Schalke. They went to AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, and Stuttgart. Schalke, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Stuttgart. Nobody has got it yet. This is a trickier one. Nobody has got it yet. No, it is not Benassa. It is not Aubameyang. It is not Mustafi. It is not Socrates. Nobody has got it. It's not Mavropanos. People are finding this one trickier. We found a trickier one. It's not Mertesacker. Again, Schalke, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Stuttgart. It is not Thomas Rosicky. Who is this ex or one person has got? He spelt it wrong, but he's got it correct on TikTok. It is not Podolski. It's not Wilshire. It's not Kolasinac. It's not Flamini. FBL Ben has got it. He spelt it wrong. Aiden technically spelt it right first, but FBL Ben has got it in the YouTube chat. It is indeed Jens Lehmann. A harder one today. I like that. People struggling with it. That's what we like to see. That's by far the longest one we've had before people got it. But it was indeed Jens Lehmann. He went from Schalke to AC Milan to Borussia Dortmund to Arsenal and to Stuttgart after that. So there you go. Congratulations to the people that got it on TikTok. And big congratulations to FPL Ben. Rory, that was hard. It was hard. I wanted to give a bit of a trickier one. Forgot he played for AC. Yeah, I think the Schalke to AC Milan is definitely something that would throw people off. But there you go. And now, time for the Guess the Non-Gooner. Again, same principle, but I give you their full career path. They've never played for Arsenal. And you get pride, but slightly less pride for getting this one correct. So this player started at Walsall. They went to Hales Owen on loan. They then went to Watford and then to Birmingham. So Walsall, Hales Owen on loan, Watford and Birmingham. It is not Jamie Vardy. Bengal, yes, Bengal Taco Man has got it correct. Unbelievably, the way my chat currently lies, it is Troy Deeney. It is Troy Deeney. Dominic Riego put Hog before Bengal Taco Man put Deeney. So the chat literally reads Hog Deeney, but it is indeed Troy Deeney. What a man! I was listening to him on the Jackmate podcast earlier today whilst I was driving. Top bloke, absolute top bloke, really nice guy. And yeah, I left out the part of his career where he obviously, had a little break in his career. But it was indeed Troy Deeney. So congratulations if you got that on TikTok as well. Do you think Chelsea have a chance to be relegated? I don't, unfortunately. I think 39 points is already enough to keep them safe. I know people talk about 40 being the point to keep, 40 points being what you need to be safe. But I think looking at it this season with Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Forest, I don't think you're going to need more than 39 points. Lampard for 007? I hope so. Rory, did you see Isaac's dribble? Oh, mate, Alexander Isaac's dribble last night was unbelievable. The defending made it look a little bit better because the defending was shocking. But it was very, very good, wasn't it? Who's getting relegated? Southampton have gone, in my opinion. Everton have got a really tricky run. I know they play they play Man City, sorry, and then I think Leeds have got a bad run as well. I think Leeds play. I can't remember exactly who they play. I was talking to Plut about it today, but they are in trouble. They are in trouble. How much do you think City would drop off if Pep left? Big time. If you look at the long term, right, there is an identifiable issue that Man City have that they'll probably get around by just spending money. But as soon as they bring in a new manager, if they then change the system, this current group of players is perfectly built to Pep's system. Only Pep is playing a Kanji at left back in such a way that Arsenal are completely neutralised. Only Pep is playing John Stones as an inverted CDM for most of the season. So I do genuinely think that they could struggle a bit after. I also think if you look at some of the players, how much will they drop off without Pep? How much do they play for Pep? So, yeah, I do think once Pep leaves, and maybe I don't know when Pep is going to leave. That's the issue. But Leicester to stay up, I think Leicester will just about stay up, even though I want them to go down. Why is the video quality on YouTube much worse compared to TikTok? Because TikTok's run through my phone, whereas YouTube's run through a webcam. Where basically the YouTube setup needs improvement, but I need money to do that, and I haven't got that yet. But I'm working on it. Thoughts on Brighton's signing of João Pedro? Really good signing. We talked about it at the start of the stream, HD. Why it's so important to work quickly, because you can get big signings before the competition comes in. It's really important to do that. And look, Brighton are such a well-run club. Paul, thank you for the follow on TikTok. I just saw that. Is it just me that gets annoyed at some people? Some of the comments that are said on AFTV, these people make us all look bad. I think it's one of those, right, where arguably you get points from a wide range of the fan base. But it's like if you gave a big platform to a random person on Twitter. Sometimes, you're going to end up with a video that makes people look silly. But Tiabe, thank you. Thoughts on Messi being linked with Barca? It wouldn't surprise me if Messi went back to Barca. It wouldn't surprise me at all, to be fair. Anyway, today, by the way, the stream, I would have probably had more stuff ready for the stream, but I only just got back. I was playing what to me is a new game, a game I've never seen before. It is a worldwide sport, but basically doesn't exist in the UK. It's called Padball, and it's like a combination of football, tennis, squash, volleyball, like everything. So it's like, imagine a squash court, except there's not a wall at the end. So it's like a tennis court, but the whole way around the tennis court is like the glass sort of barrier things that you have in squash. And then there's a tennis net, but you use a football that's slightly different to a football. It's a bit smaller and a bit lighter. And the rules are a bit like volleyball. So you play in duos, you play in pairs against another pair, kind of like volleyball. So you're allowed 3 touches between you and your partner to get it back over to the other side. It's a crazy game. I'm not very good at it, I'll be honest. I'm not built for the sort of agile, quick, techie things that you need to do that. But it was so much fun, and it was great filming with them. I was filming with Plut, the legend that is Plut93 as well. And it's going to be coming to the UK soon. So they're launching in June. This was like a bit of a content shoot ahead of their launch in June. Ben says, do a podcast, Rory. At some point, hopefully. I will do that. Collab with Nick Stav when? I actually met Nick Stav at the Southampton game. He's back in Australia now. But how's your Friday been, Rory? Any plans? Well, I've been out all day filming this football thing. The Padball. So yeah, that is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So it's coming to the first location is going to be in Surrey in June, and I can see it taking off a bit like Tocker Social, Foot Golf, Top Golf, all of those sorts of things. I can see it taking off like that. It's a very, very fun game to play. Are you embarrassed to have the same name as Rory Jennings? It's, you know what? It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Collab with Morley and Young Kipper. You know, we're slightly different content creators, myself and Morley and Young Kipper, but sounds interesting. Yeah, honestly, it's a really fun game. If we're not going to get Rice or Caicedo, can we also have Sangare at PSV? I don't think he's quite on their level. I think Sangare is quite a big drop off from like, you know, Champions League level that I think Caicedo and Rice can both play at. I don't think Sangare has that level, truthfully. Do you see City losing any of their remaining games? No. Look, truthfully, City do have some hard games left, right? Fulham away is difficult. Everton away could be difficult just because of, you know, Everton needing to survive. And then Brighton and Brentford away are both difficult as well. I also think West Ham at home, even at this point, could be difficult. But for Arsenal to win the league from here, we would need Man City to lose a game and draw a game at the very least, and we would have to win all of our games. I don't see it happening. Is it hard to get tickets in the lower tiers at the Emirates? It's hard to get any tickets at the Emirates, lower or higher tier. I don't think it's any more difficult to get them in the lower tier than the higher tier, though. Opinions on Chelsea fans being happy that Arsenal bottled it when they lost on the same day? Yeah, look, Chelsea fans. I mean, look, I genuinely, I don't know what I would be doing if I was a Chelsea fan. We have, as Arsenal fans, in the Premier League era, we have never experienced finishing outside the top half. I genuinely don't know how I'd cope with being in the bottom half of the table. You know, when they have graphics come up on screen on Sky during a game, and it's like uh, most goals conceded of teams in the bottom half of the table, or like fewest goals scored of teams in the bottom half of the table, and your team is on that list because you're in the bottom half of the table. I don't know how I'd cope. I don't think I'd actually be able to watch football full stop at this point. So there we go. Do I need to be a member to get tickets? Yeah, pretty much. I know we're out of the title race, but at what point in the season did you start believing Arsenal would win? I started believing after we beat Man United. That was when I first thought we really could do it, and I stopped believing after the loss against Man City, the second loss against Man City. Favorite sport outside of football? I mean, I love all sport. Probably cricket. In terms of playing and watching, probably cricket, I would say. Is the game you're on about like a football version of paddleball by any chance? Yeah, it's kind of like a football version of paddleball. Yeah, similar, I would say. Best away day in the Premier League? I don't know. I've not really done many away days in the Premier League, to be honest. I don't think I've got enough experience to judge it. Do Arsenal need a new clinical centre forward? I don't necessarily think clinical is the word, but I do think we just need a big striker. We need a big presence up front for games where we need to go long. Are you going to the women's game against Wolfsburg? Yeah, so good reminder, actually. If you haven't already got your ticket, Arsenal versus Wolfsburg women's game, Monday night. This coming Monday evening, the Champions League semi-final. It's 2-2 after the first leg. Already 55,000 tickets have been sold for it. It's going to be a big one. And then we've got Chelsea the following day. So I'll be at the Emirates Monday and Tuesday night of next week. Ben says, favourite TikToker. I appreciate it very much. Porro finished that goal well. Yeah, it was a great finish by Pedro Porro. It's just a shame he can't defend, really. And are you playing FIFA today because of Tots? I will smash out FIFA tonight. Yeah, absolutely. But look, that is going to be the end of the YouTube stream. As always, I massively appreciate you watching. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll be back again live at 5 tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening, a fantastic weekend, a fantastic long weekend. I hope you all have a great one, and I will catch you tomorrow.